So this is Delta Force, and I've been waiting for a while for this to come out. I think it got announced earlier this year, can't remember the exact timeline, and I missed out on the closed beta and also didn't play the demo because I just didn't have time to, but the full game's out. Played for a couple of days, it's been out a few days, and I wanted to give it enough game time so I could give it a proper in-depth review and see if it is worth your time in downloading. Now I'm going to get into two things real quick right now, just to kind of summarise everything before I go into the in-depth kind of review, just to save you from watching the whole video if you're not bothered about the entire thing. But number one, got to go straight into the kind of controversy that comes with this game, in that it comes with something called kernel level spyware. I'll be honest, I've never heard of it before, and I'm not going to pretend like I know what it is, but I saw a load of reviews on Steam, which you can see me scrolling through now, all talking about kind of how bad it is. And yeah, I did a quick Google. I mean, it doesn't sound good. Yeah, I know some games come with it anyway, but there's a lot of kind of worry because this is a free game that comes with it, and I think it's basically some kind of hardware that goes into your PC in that it gets admin rights instead of just getting user rights or something along those lines. Someone will probably be able to mention it in the comments or something and explain it thoroughly, but it doesn't sound good. And so if you're kind of worried about that and worried about that being on your system and stuff, then obviously don't download this game. However, I did notice that the developers did respond to the top comment talking about this, saying that they had fixed an issue where it was staying on your PC when you uninstalled it, and that it only ever runs when you're playing the game, which I can confirm does work, because I have when I turned the game off and tried to start Apex, for example, it was stopping because it knew that it was running in the background, but then I gave it like a couple of minutes and it ran off. And then someone even mentioned in the Steam comments that it does cut off as soon as you stop running the game. So you know, you've got that kind of little bit of peace of mind, but you know, the hardware's still there if you choose to download this game. So just bear that in mind before you think about getting this game. And then the second thing, I'm just going to cut straight to it. Should you get this game? Well, it's a free game. So, you know, if you can get past the kind of spyware thing issue and you're not bothered about that, then download it and play it and see what you think. Because it is just, you know, it's a free shooter. Why shouldn't you try it out? But yeah, I've got some major kind of thoughts on it and what I think of the game, and if it'll last and if it can compete with the likes of Battlefield, because that's what I saw it as. I saw it as a full Battlefield competitor, which is free to play, has all the kind of same, I mean, let's be honest, it's basically a Battlefield 2042 ripoff, but for free. So yeah, I'll get into the in-depth stuff now, and we'll talk about the good stuff, the bad stuff, and yeah, what my overall thoughts are on the game. Okay, so first thing off the bat, the good stuff. The weapon customization is probably some of the best I've ever seen. I mean, I've never managed to play Tarkov, but I've watched plenty of it, and I know the kind of in-depth stuff you can do into that is incredible. And this is more of a user-friendly version of that, let's say. You can really tinker with the weapon, you can mess about with it, you can even, once you've put all your attachments on it, you can go into like changing how the scopes like work and stuff. Like, you can configure the weapon all like kind of pretty much uniquely to you. I haven't gone that much into depth, and I don't know how good it is in terms of the configuration system, but you know, it's there. And then once you've done it, you can then hop into the firing range and test out that weapon. However, there is one problem with that, in that, and I think you can change this setting, but my lobby frame rate is capped at 60, so just have it as that. I don't see why you need a massive frame rate for a lobby. I know sometimes it can cause a couple of issues, so kept it at 60. And when you jump into the firing range, it keeps it at that 60 FPS or whatever you've got it capped to, so it feels a little bit sluggish and not great, especially when you're playing the game at, you know, a lot higher FPS kind of levels. So not sure what that is. Maybe just a little bug that they'll eventually iron out, or maybe it's something where you've got to physically go in and change it in your settings. But yeah, I weren't a fan of that. But the customization itself is incredible, and yeah, really, really in depth with a load of stuff you can do to it as well, including adding skins and yeah, there's some, you know, there's like, well, there's not many skins on some of these weapons, but, you know, the weapon choice is quite good as well. You know, you've got a ton of different weapons per class, and yeah, really, really, really good. Okay, so then on top of that, we also have the 4 classes, which are your usual kind of ones that you get in, well, a Battlefield game, being Assault, Support, Engineer, and Sniper, and they all come with, like, their different level classes of weapons, you know, with kind of like assault ones coming with mainly assault rifles, and then potentially like a little DMR kind of thing. Snipers, they have sniper rifles, DMRs. There's a couple of ways that you can interchange between all of them, like a couple of submachine guns that work on them all and stuff, which is pretty cool to see. And I'm not against the class system. I'm a long time Battlefield fan and player, apart from the last one, and really enjoyed it. However, they have done something that Battlefield do and isn't great. One of the things that killed off 2042, and that is bringing in operators on top of the classes. Okay, so the operators are kind of class specific. So currently there's 2 of each class. 3 of them are locked behind. In fact, 4 are locked behind a paywall / free paywall. So you can't complain too much, but it is annoying when they lock them behind stuff. I mean, this one's locked behind the battle pass, which, after playing one game, I gained like 4 levels, and I don't know if it's like double XP just because it's early at the minute, but that was pretty good, to be fair. So you could probably grind the battle pass pretty quick and get these operators unlocked. However, the fact that they're locked behind it, or I think some of them even locked behind challenges, that's just a bit of a pain for me. I'm never a fan of anything where it's locked, especially if one of these operators ends up being more OP than the others. That means you've really got to grind it out to get that operator. So yeah, not a fan of that at all. Also, I'm not the biggest fan of operators on top of having a class. I think it's just one or the other. You just keep a class or you keep an operator. Mixing the two, I don't know, it never seems to work for me, and it definitely didn't work for Battlefield 2042. Like, I know a lot of people complained about the fact that there was operators there, and they even mentioned in the next Battlefield game that they are taking it back to kind of a basic way and just having the kind of class system, which is the way it should be. And yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Some people might like it, but yeah, it's not my favourite thing in the game. There's also quite a few vehicles in the game as well. Again, I've never been a massive fan of vehicle combat, despite the fact that I love Battlefield. I actually quite like the infantry-only servers, but, it's good to have in the game. It's, variety. People like vehicle stuff, play it. And yeah, you can see it comes with a ton of like tanks, a couple of road vehicles, and then 2 types of helicopter in the assault chopper and the little bird as well. And so far, from what I've seen, I don't know if they've removed it, but my first game was this kind of desert map. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but the attacking team spawned with a little bird, and it was just absolutely obliterating us, like destroying our team. I've since played that map a couple of days later, and it wasn't there. It was just the attacking team didn't have it, and I was the attacking team as well, and couldn't see it would spawn in anywhere. So don't know if they've removed that. Probably good that they have, because the guy that was flying it, I mean, I played it on like day 1, and my first game was having this little bird in there just wiping out our entire team. The guy was just an absolute pro, must have spent literally minute 1 playing it, or I don't know if the flight controls are similar to Battlefield, because unfortunately I've not managed to get into a chopper yet. But yeah, that guy was absolutely flying and destroying our team. But the weapons are there, the vehicles are there. They've got good customization and skins on them again, so yeah, it's there. It's an option to kind of play. Alright, so let's talk about the gameplay, because if the game doesn't feel good, then there's just no point in playing it whatsoever. And I'll be honest, I'm a little bit torn. I don't know if I like it, I don't know if I hate it. Sometimes it feels pretty good, like the sniping feels okay, the headshots quite satisfying. Never a fan of a game that only allows one shot, like headshots, to be the thing. Like, you can't one-shot someone in the body with a sniper rifle, which is a bit annoying. I don't know if the higher level ones do with more damage, but yeah, it just frustrates me just a little bit, because I think as a sniper, if you're hitting like anywhere above the shoulders or like really upper torso, it should be a one-shot kill. I know some people might complain about that, but that's how I think it should be with snipers. In terms of weapons, I don't feel like it feels optimized, the game, in terms of like kind of combat wise. I mean, I had a couple of frame drops. I'm running at about 100 frames on most like areas of the maps, which is okay. It's pretty good. I'm running it on medium with a couple of things on high and a couple of things on low, like shadows, and it doesn't seem to be doing too bad in terms of how it runs. Like I say, it's just occasionally I get a bit of a frame drop, and there's just something about it where you sometimes fighting it just feels just a little bit clunky, like it just needs polishing off just a little bit. So I'm not too sure what that is, or if it's just, I don't know, the way the game feels. Who knows? But for me, it feels okay, not great though. Notice in the background as well, there's a lot of mechanics that are the same as any kind of Battlefield game, in that when you die, you've got the choice to bleed out or you can wait for a revive. And even the way you spawn in, on the bases. I mean, this game mode, I know game modes are very similar in all ones. You could say every game has like team deathmatch and stuff like that, but this game mode is just identical to the Battlefield game mode, where you have to attack the 2 positions and then at the end you just have the 1 position to attack. Yeah, I just don't know. It feels like a real Battlefield like knockoff, and I don't know if I'm a fan of that. I just think when I play Battlefield games, they feel a lot more cared for. Let's ignore 2042. But you look at like Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1, them games are absolutely unbelievably good and feel good. I know this is the first time this developer's kind of tried something like this, or at least I think they have. Yeah, it just, I don't know. It feels a bit like a bad version of Battlefield, in my opinion. What I also don't like as well is I don't like any game that kind of gives you walls, and that goes for Apex as well. Like anyone who watches this channel, I play a ton of Apex, and there's a couple of Legends and that get wall hacks. The fact that there's wall hacks on this as well, where with the sniper you can shoot that bow thing. You have 2 types, one that does like this electrocution thing and like pins someone in place, and then the other one which scans and you can see through walls. I hate that. I hate it so much, because it just makes you question if you're getting killed by a hacker or if you've been scanned. Now, there is a notification that pops up to say when you've been scanned, but when you're in the middle of a gunfight, are you really going to clock to see if that notification is there or not? Or are you instantly going to be thinking, this guy's a hacker? I mean, I've got a clip where I literally peek around the corner for like 2 seconds and I get absolutely destroyed, just get headshotted. Yeah, and I was thinking, this guy's going to be a hacker, but then I don't know if I've been on a scan or anything. I didn't see anything, so yeah, not a fan of that at all. Smokes seem to be on every single class as well. I mean, I like smoke plays and pushing up through smokes, but there's just smokes everywhere. And then that combined with the fact that you can do the sniper scan and people going through smokes, you're just getting beamed, you don't know if you're getting hacked. Oh, it's just a recipe for disaster. They either need to get rid of the wall hack one, or maybe, I don't know, maybe the smokes should actually hide you. I'm not too sure, but I think they need to do something with it. Just not a fan of it whatsoever. All right, I'm going to wrap this up now because I've been rambling on for too long about this game. Look, if you want to try it out, feel free to download it, right? It's a free game. You've got nothing to lose, apart from maybe the spyware thing. But, I advise just, give it a download, give it a couple of games. Personally, I don't think it's great. Like, if I had to score it out of 10, I'd probably give it maybe, I don't know, maybe a 5, like a solid 5. It's just, yeah, it just feels like a poor man's Battlefield. I know it's free, so you can't really complain because, it's a free game, you know what I mean? They've done well, it's pretty good for a free game, but it's just not a great free game. I know it does come with 2 other game modes, the single player, which hasn't been released yet, and the kind of extraction shooter one, which I think is a lot better, but I've not had time to play that much. I've only kind of ever watched someone stream it. But yeah, all in all, it's okay, not the best, but still, probably worth a try and a download. If you're, into this kind of shooter, give it a go. But yeah, let me know what you think if you do play it. Drop it in the comments. Let me know what how you got on with it. If you think it's better than Battlefield, if you think it'll last forever as well, because this could be one of those games that dies in a few months' time and gets sunsetted, as they call it, or whatever it is. Yeah, we'll see what happens with it. Maybe they'll add some things to it, polish it off a little bit better. If they do, it could be a real competitor for Battlefield. But until they do that, we are kind of stuck with this. But yeah, let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.